Excited to be talking to you about this. And today we're going to dive into the three P's to success, which are passion, performance, and profit. So, welcome, and let's just get started.
Let's do this. Performance.
Awesome.
Look at that. We're rolling right into the P, Tammy. We're creating, we're performing.
Awesome. So, what are the three P's to start off with?
Well, right, I say that the three P's to success, really in anything in life, are passion. You got to have a passion for something. Then you've got to do, right? You've got to perform and do what you need to get to the profit, right? When we're talking about business, it's really just a different version of be, do, have. Passion, performance, right? Be passionate, do, perform, and have profit. It's really that simple. Or is it?
Awesome. So, a lot of people talk about passion, and I think a lot of people have different meanings for what that is to them. So, what is your take on it? I mean, is it just about doing the specific thing you're passionate about, or does it fluctuate from day to day? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, and that obviously comes up for a lot, and I love a lot of the passion stuff. I love, right, Chris and Janet Atwood's The Passion Test. And for me, I look at passion as you could be passionate about something and turn that into your career, right? You're really passionate about making cookies. Well, then, hey, start a cookie business. And there's 1,000 different ways to take the passion of I like making cookies, right? You can open a bakery, you can sell to other restaurants, you can package it. There's so many ways, right, when we go into the performance, but you start with the passion. But then there's other kinds of passions. And, I worked with this group of guys in Alaska, and what they were passionate about was making money. And there are many things that people could think about that, but they were truly, this small group of guys were passionate about making money. So everything that they did, they were always looking through the lens of, can I make money in this? Now, a lot of them were in the real estate trade, and maybe the real estate trade, maybe their kids were their biggest passion, and they didn't make their career being about their kids, but it was that passion to provide for their children, to be able to afford, right, ice hockey in Alaska and all that, whatever it is. So sometimes our passion is, I want to put my kid into this school or into this class, or I want to take these extraordinary vacations every year, or I want to drive this beautiful car, or I want to go to these beautiful places. So sometimes your passion is what moves you into maybe doing something that isn't exactly your passion, but you're so passionate about, right, like running a plumbing business or running an online business, because it's giving you your passions, right? You sort of have gratitude for the fact that you're an online marketer, and then you funnel that money into your passion of ballet. So passion's an interesting thing. Everyone thinks like, well, I'm really passionate about this, so I have to turn this in my career. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I think it is important to figure out what you're passionate about, and then to figure out how to get more of that in your life.
Okay, awesome. So it's like you've got to look at that, and then also what's that motivating factor behind it.
Absolutely.
Why you want to do it. Okay.
Right.
So how do people, go ahead.
And what is your passion, and how do you get to it? And that's the tricky part, right? Like, people often in life, right, we all have those scenarios where we think we know something, and then we go deeper into it and we say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to quit my job. Maybe I need my boss to treat me differently, or maybe I don't want to, sell my business and start a business. Maybe I want to distribute differently, right? Right. So how does one, which I think is where you're going, right? How does one figure out what the fuel is, right? What the passion is?
Yeah. Yeah. How do they figure out what they're passionate about, or what is their why? Why would they move forward with?
Exactly. And passion is the same as the why, right? Because your why might be, I want to take a luxurious vacation every year, and I want to take a $10,000 3-month cruise every year. Okay, well, maybe that's your why, right? Maybe that's your passion. But how do you drill down into your mind and get clear, right? Remove the cloud cover to get straight and honest with yourself about what is it that I'm really passionate about, right? I mean, do I really want to flip houses, right? We love to flip houses. We dabble in real estate. But does everyone want to swing a hammer? Does everyone like to turn over wacky units and things. I do. It's my passion. But how does one get clear? Do they really want to be a fixer-upper? Do they really want to, So for me, it's the tool. If you've ever heard me before, I talk about it. And I call it the process. And it's really, there's many versions, but it's a simple 3-step process, right? It's so easy. It's just about the revelation. And when we use it in business, we say the revelation, the ROI process, the revelation, the ouch factor, and the inspired action. So, I tell myself, what do we tell ourselves, right? I tell myself I want to flip houses, but the truth is I want to decorate houses. I don't want to flip houses. I just want to decorate houses. So, see, people rush out when they think they want to flip houses because they watch Chip and Joanna and they say, I'm going to flip houses. Well, take a look. Do you really? I'm telling myself I want to flip houses. But the truth is, I really just want to do what Joanna does at the end and decorate the house, right? So you use that process. I tell myself I want to flip houses, but the truth is I just want to decorate houses. Or I tell myself that I want to flip houses, but the truth is that I just want to make furniture, right? Because we all watch those shows, and some people are just really good at making furniture. They want to make coffee tables or something. So you have to drill down and get honest with yourself with the revelation. I've been telling myself I want to do this kind of business, but the truth is it's this piece of it, right? I don't want to flip a whole house. I want to become a house stager for a realtor. I want to be an interior decorator. So once you get aware of what the truth is, the revelation, then it's kind of hard. But then we say to ourselves, okay, so what is the ouch factor? Like not being honest with myself. What has it been costing me? And we call that the ouch, right? Or the ouch factor, right? So the ouch on me is that I've been avoiding starting my furniture repair business, furniture building business, interior decorating business, yada, yada, yada. The cost to me, right? This is a success summit. The cost to me, the ouch factor is I have spent 3 years telling myself that I can't do what I want to do because I don't have the money to flip a house. But the truth is I could have been an interior decorator with $1,000 and starting and yada, yada, yada. So that's the ouch factor. I've been wasting time by not doing that, And then sometimes we look at the ouch factor on others, right? What has it been costing my partner that I'm not living my dreams or pursuing my dreams? What is it costing my children that I'm not pursuing my dreams? And it seems like often we try to avoid the harsh reality in our lives. And I say it's really not that harsh a lot of the time, because the beauty is once you confront what is, right, the reality of what is and the cost that you've paid for not being clear-minded, well, now you've got your whole future, and that's the inspired action. So I could say to myself, the revelation is I've been telling myself I want to flip houses, but the truth is I really just want to be an interior decorator. I've been wasting 3 years of my life. My husband, my wife, my best friend has been hearing me complain about it. My kids don't have a lot of hope for the future. So what I'm going to do is start my interior decorating business, right? The inspired action, the ROI, the inspired action is start my interior decorating business, right? Or take a class or take a seminar or buy a book on it or do a conference on it with people and say I'm going to do a conference on. See, there's so many inspired actions. That's where we roll into the performance, right? How do I start getting in action? How do I start doing the work to get to where I want to be? Right? But the ROI process is really easy. Get honest about what is with that tool. Feel a little bit of sting. It's good to sometimes feel a little bit of sting and then take an inspired action. Write it down and get in the game.
Awesome. So this process could take a little bit of time for people. You could go through a little bit of trial and error, and it could take a day. It could take a couple of weeks for you to really narrow down what your passion is. But
yeah, and the process can be used on anything. I sort of think, people say, what's the one tool that you use in your life? Or, right, do you meditate? What's the things that you do in your life to stay clear-minded? And for me, it's the process. I just call it the process. In business, I call it the ROI process. But I just do the process, and I do it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times a day, right? You know how when we get a new job or we take on something new, we don't know the poses or we don't know where things are at the kitchen, but then, right, muscle memory kicks in, it gets familiar, and we don't really think about it. That's the process for me. When I pick my kid up at school in the line and teacher looks at me a certain way, right? And I can start going in my head, well, who the heck did you see the way she looked at me? She was saying that I should have washed, right? I have guilt that I didn't wash my car, so I tell myself the teacher is judging me for not washing my car, right? So I burn through the process. I'm really crying through the process. I go, okay, wait a minute. Is everything this teacher has going on in her life, you think she's sitting here judging me on the cleanliness of my car. So I tell myself, Miss Jenkins is judging me for the cleanliness of my car. And the truth is, I don't know what Miss Jenkins is, right? And then I go to the post office and I have an interaction there, or someone cuts me off in traffic, right? And I say, he thinks he's better than me because he's driving a BMW and I'm driving a Toyota. And it's like, hold on a minute. I tell myself he thinks he's better than me because see what I mean? The process is the tool. And there are other, right? If you have a tool that is the tool, this is the tool for me and, so many people in our orbit. It's the tool. What am I telling myself? What am I telling, right? Because everything is belief and we're all telling ourselves things all day long. And it's all about getting what's clear, right, for you, what's clear for me, what is my truth, right? Like my truth isn't someone else's truth, whether it's religion or how to do business, right? Or how to distribute. One person says distribute only on the internet or only on Amazon. Another person says distribute only on my website. What's true for me? What's my truth? So the process is something to use 1 time a day, 10 times a day. And in regards to things that are more challenging, it is sort of right. Like, the tools that they talk about drilling down. This is a drilling down tool. I tell myself I want to be a fixer-upper. The truth is I want to, really just do the furniture stuff. Okay, is that true? I tell myself, you can sort of stay in that step 1, right? I tell myself I want to start a business staging houses. Is that really what I want to do? Do I really you sort of meditate on it, think on it, go for a walk after dinner and say, okay, is this it? And we can feel it. We can feel things inside, right? When we're in alignment with ourselves, not other people, when we're in alignment with our truth, we can feel it, right? Our whole body feels, right? Like, I want to breed dogs. I want to be an internet marketer. I want to open a coffee shop or whatever. We feel it. So drill down. Is that true? Is it, I want to try staging houses, or I want to try being an interior decorator. Okay. Step 2, right? What has it been costing me? Which is the fuel. And then step 3 is get in action, which kind of moves us in the triple P world to the second piece. Get clear about what you want, and then get in action. What are you going to do now, right? Be, do, have. What are you going to do? How are you going to perform to make it a reality, right? Mm-hmm. We all want to have, whether it's, money for our kids' college fund or, a trip, a vacation, a new car, whatever, right? How do we perform? But you got to get clear about what your passion is first. And then you've got to get clear about what you're passionate about and then figure out how to make money on it.
Okay, so we're clear on our passion and the performance starts. Is there more you want to talk about on the performance side of things?
Well, I think everyone has to find, right, what works for them. How do you get in action? Some people do lists, right? And they take 3 steps and they give them a specific date that they're going to get it done. Or just pick one thing. Okay, I know I want to be an interior decorator. I'm going to write down 3 steps I can take to become an interior decorator and the day I'm going to do them by, so that you're in action. And if you say by Friday I'm going to do this and you haven't done it by Friday, don't beat yourself up, right? Create a new goal and say, okay, by Monday, and just keep moving. Don't beat yourself up. Keep moving that goal to perform if you have to, but don't get shameful. Don't guilt yourself, right? Be like, okay, all right. Because, right, there's challenges. Time gets in the way. Our beliefs get in the way. Life gets in the way. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep moving something down. Figure out a way, right, a goal-setting tool that works for you, and be moving forward. Be moving forward to take specific steps, right? Get specific results, and then just keep creating new goals, keep performing, keep moving forward, keep doing what you have to do. So there's many tools to do that, right? There's many goal-setting tools. Find the one that works for you and move forward.
Awesome. So, what if people are stuck and they don't know how or what to do next to move forward with their success?
Well, I would say set a goal of reading something. Set a goal, like this conference is the perfect example, right? You don't know what you're doing? Sit down and watch every speaker, watch every single teacher on this thing, and absorb the content. When the weekend comes, don't be on Netflix. I love Netflix. Don't be on Netflix. Watch the interviews. And if you find one that you really click with, watch it a second time, watch it a third time, watch it a fourth time. That's one way, right? Absorb content, and you're in action. You're performing learning, So find something that works. And if let's say you're a blogger and you're saying, let's go back to high school, I don't know what to write. Then write about how you don't know what to write. I'll always remember my writing teacher in 7th or 8th grade and me telling him, I don't know what to write. He said, then just sit there and keep writing about that you don't know what to write until something, and let's see what happens, I think he said to me. So there's always ways. If you don't know how to take another step, do a blog post, read a book, watch an online conference. There's always a way. Saying you don't know how to move forward, it's not true. There's always a way to move forward. There's always a way to take a step, and at the bare minimum, and this is the bare minimum, which is like the good news is the bare minimum is learn more. Learn more. If you don't know what to do, watch one of these videos again and again and again, and let it soak into you until you say, whoa, okay, I got it. I know the next step. But even watching was a step. You were in movement. You were moving forward. You were performing by watching. And I don't mean half watch and be doing the dishes over here. That can be okay. But I mean, if you're stuck, watch something like this conference and pay attention to it. Absorb what these people are telling you, and you'll find your way out to the next thing.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get stuck in their own heads and they want to feel that inspiration come from within. But once you allow yourself to interact with someone else or watch another teacher teach something, then those ideas, it just helps spark that flow for people.
Absolutely, right. And we've all had, we go to parties or events and or school functions again, right? I have 2 young daughters, and I will be honest that sometimes I go to school functions and I think, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm going. This is going to be terrible, right? But then I go and it's great. Or I go to a party or some type of social gathering, and I get a new connection to do some business project with me on. So I think often we're telling ourselves this is going to be terrible, and so you can't even always trust yourself that you truly know what's best for you. So sometimes that's the performance, right? Go to the party. Go to the gathering, go to the meetup group, go to the mastermind, and even if you don't feel inspired, like you're saying, go, get off your butt and do something, and you may find it. I think, a lot of people will say, well, I don't take any action unless I'm inspired. Well, yeah, I mean, it is one way. I'm not saying it's not a way, but there is another way called taking action. I mean, you don't want everything in your life to come from being uninspired, but sometimes I take actions and I'm not overly inspired, and I find the inspiration in a new person that I meet, a new business partner at a cocktail party or something. So I think it's both. Try to live from inspiration, and if inspiration's not there, maybe at least get up off your butt and go for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
Or go to tune into something, go to a meetup group or a mastermind or something, and do it 2 or 3 times. And if you don't find inspiration after 2 or 3 times, maybe it's not the thing, or maybe you need to try it different. Maybe you need to go join Toastmasters. There's so many ways to take action. Can you hear the jingle jangle of the dog? There's so many ways to take action that I think we can find our inspiration when we're out there grumpily moving along. So.
All right, awesome. So the third P is profit. So what does profit mean to you? Is it all about the money?
Right, it's right. Be do have. It's have the money, baby. Money, 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 money. And all kidding aside, of course, there is truth to that. Right, we work in a world that works on money is the currency that we trade most of the time. Not the only way, but right. So money is a currency, and most of us say we want more. Now there are other currencies, right? Profit is anything that brings something into my life that I want. So there's profit. Friendship is profit, right? Maybe it's trade. Profit isn't just money, but money tends to be the most universal trade of, right, a trade of trade, currency of trade, right? With money, you trade it for any other thing that you want. But, sometimes profit is time freedom, right? I mean, we both know that routine, and many of us that are watching or listening know that time freedom is quite the profit. Prosperity, right, is time freedom for me. It's a big thing. Now, I might be up working at 3:00 in the morning on a project, but if my daughter has a piccolo recital, that's right, a piccolo recital. I guess it's really a recorder. I have the prosperity of time to go to it at 1:00 in the afternoon and watch it. So I think it's another important thing to take a look at. What is profit to someone? Not just the number, right? There's the money aspect of, well, when I have, right, $1,000 in the bank, I will feel profitable. I will feel rich. And there are people that would feel rich if they had no debt and $1,000 in the bank, right? And then and it's different for everyone. And then for some people, or maybe you get there and your next level up, right, is $10,000 and then 20 or 50 or whatever. So, what makes you feel successful? What is profit and success to you? I mean, it's such a big piece of it. There's money, but there's all the other things. So maybe profit as success is what's going to make you feel successful. Success for me is being able to pretty much do what I want whenever I want, and I'm seldom bound. The most time restraint I get is doing an interview, and it's like, oh my gosh, I must sit down and this is exact time, right? But once this is over, I have a couple other meetings today, but a lot of my day is spent, going and working on a renovation. So, profit and success for me is flipping houses. It's part of what we do. I have Enlightenment Village. We have the Truth About Prosperity. We have Avaya. We have all these things, all these different ways that we profit. And then I also like to flip houses because I grew up blue collar. I like to get my hands into the dirt and the sawdust. I like to knock out those 2x4s and put 2x4s in. And I do not do sheetrock or anything like that, but I do some plumbing and I do things like that because I like to. And it's all profitable for me. But if you don't like it, well, it may not be the best way to profit. So profit for me might be doing what I love, making money at it, and doing what I love. I'm a little eccentric and I like to play around with a lot of different things. And I do also try to take everything I can in my life. I learned this from this group of entrepreneurs in Alaska. Everything I do in my life, I ask myself, how can I profit from that? How can I make money from that? If I want to go to the Galapagos Islands, I'm going to say to myself, maybe I'll turn it into a film. Maybe I'll turn it into a course. Maybe I'll, turn it into a documentary. Maybe I'll, I'm always looking at how I can profit from things. So there are endless ways to profit and endless ways to describe profit. And each person has to say, right, what is prosperity for me? And how much of it do I want?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you. You guys know my deal. My husband's a teacher. So for me, during the summers, I could care less if I have any work to do at all.
Right.
The ability to leave and to travel and, go in an RV or get on a plane and go somewhere for 8 weeks, that's more valuable to me than the money side of it. However, I have to make money other times during the year in order to be able to do that. So yeah, I kind of go in a wave of, my business the first 6 months of the year is really busy and I make my money and then I take a big break and then I come back and do it over again in the fall. And I love that I have the ability to do that. But even with the travel, I'm going, okay, I can start a blog. I can do a travel blog while we're gone. I might be able to sell some ads. I might be able to become an influencer in this area. So yeah. I'm constantly thinking about that too. I love that.
Yeah, I think the thing is, if we're talking like entrepreneurs, or even if someone is an employee, right, and they're looking for that side hustle, right, in this day and age, and not getting into anything, understanding all the dynamics of Airbnb and Uber and the politics of all of it, there are so many ways to have a side hustle. Even if you're right, people say, well, you do really well with your films. Why are you doing coaching? Or you do really well with your coaching. Why are you flipping houses? Or you do really well with flipping houses. Why are you still making, I don't know, right, conferences? Or why are you doing this? Or why are you talking about starting a candy company? And why do you and your girls, right? It's because, and I'm not saying everyone, but for me, success to me is doing what I want, when I want, and trying to increase my financial well-being along the way. It's fun for me. We do pretty well, but we don't live in the most glamorous house. You know that. I mean, we got this house on the island that will be much nicer and stuff. But I'm a little wacky. Success for me is having land and having properties, and I don't care so much about having a mansion. I'd rather have 10, 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranches and my Toyota RAV4 and money banked away for my kids for whatever they want to do, and the freedom to never worry. I don't worry about paying a bill. We carry zero debt. I mean, that's success to me. And I mean, it's great to say I'm going to take 2 months off in the summer, and you could exactly what you're saying, right? Excuse me. There are so many ways to make money. So if you love to drive, become an Uber driver, right? If you like there are so many apps for ways to make extra money, and you can start a blog and get advertising and just do Google AdWords and make money. I mean, there's so many ways to take what you love and even make an extra grand or two a year, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm going to take my kids, we're going to buy season passes to Knott's Berry Farm every year because I live in California, and that's $800 for the gold pass or whatever. And so I'm going to make enough money blogging to cover that. There's so many ways to make money now, and it's all about thinking right. I mean, go back to, let's think of like T. Harv Eker, right? I have a millionaire mind, I mean, it's really like, I have a prosperous mind. I have a successful mind. Being prosperous, thinking about how you're going to get there, taking those steps to get there, and you'll get there. I mean, we live in a magical time where there are so many ways to make money. And it doesn't matter if you're in a third world country. I mean, as long as you have the internet or whatever, right? I mean, right, we do business. We all do business with people around the world, right? I mean, I outsource certain projects to people, and for graphics or something, and I wake up and I go to bed at night and they're working while I'm sleeping, and I wake up and it's done. People are making money around the world, and we're interacting around the world. I mean, there are so many ways to make money. I think the biggest thing, and I understand, I don't know everyone's situation, but I think like as a majority of people, especially in developed countries, the biggest obstacle is usually how you think, right? Because I look at certain millionaires and I think to myself, even if they lost, right? We all know people, right? If Warren Buffett lost all his money tomorrow, yeah, he may not get back to $60 billion or whatever, but we know that he would climb back up. Even if he lost all the resources, even if everyone he currently does business with didn't want to do business with him again, he has, right? He doesn't have a millionaire mind. Warren Buffett has a billionaire mind. And his belief is, oh, I'm unstoppable, right? Like, I'm gold. And some people say it's arrogance. I don't think it is. I think it's confidence. I think your mind is the biggest thing to make or break you. If you believe that you can be successful, you'll be successful. Once you have that passion and that being, right, then you do, right? Warren Buffett bees, I could be a billionaire again if I lost it all tomorrow. He would do what he had to do, right? He would perform, and he'd be profitable again. He would have passion, performance, profit. It's the same thing. I think psychology is the biggest path to prosperity, excluding the people that are in some situation where they're not truly free and have the rights and the freedoms of everybody else. Your thinking changes everything. That's why the process is such a big thing to me, or any other tool like that. Remove all the blocks, remove all the cloud cover to the things that you're telling yourself that are stopping you, and you are unstoppable, right? When you stop stopping you, short of somebody in some situation holding you back, and there are people out there in the world, right, that are not free, but if you have the internet and you are free to capitalize on things, the only thing really stopping you is your thoughts. Change your thoughts, change your reality, change your thoughts, change your prosperity.
All right, awesome. Love it. So we've talked a lot about what profit is. What isn't profit?
Well, I think profit isn't fear, right? because we also, for me, let me speak for myself. I know people that have a lot of money, or say they have a lot of money, but they constantly live in fear of losing that money. Or they're in a career and they hate it. So they've got money, but they're showing up for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Now, of course, right, it's all made up, but I say success is not doing something you hate or living in fear of spending your money. What is the point of having a nice house or a nice car or money in the bank or invested if your whole life, your whole experience of living is fear of losing it? I'd rather just wipe it all out and start again than to live in fear. Money is supposed to give us freedom, right? The freedom to take vacations, the freedom to pay down our mortgage, the freedom to put our kids in a school we want, the freedom to, whatever it is. So if you're living in fear of it, that's definitely not success. To me, success is doing as much of what I have to do in the space of love and passion, and not living in fear of losing something. I'm very confident I can make more money, so I don't live in fear of making more money, and I don't want to live in fear of, who's going to take my money or going somewhere I don't want to go. Now, I'm not saying some of us don't currently have to go to a job that we don't enjoy. And I'm not generally on the bandwagon of quit your job and then figure it out. Right? I'm not one of those people. Hey, if you can do it and you really believe in that model, great. I'm more of the world of, okay, if you hate your job, start looking at your finances, start planning an exit strategy, start that side hustle. There's so many side hustles. Start that side hustle and start moving and working and putting the time in, performing when you're tired, performing early in the morning with your side hustle or your new venture or whatever, until you can replace that income and then get out of the job you hate. Reduce your expenses, increase your profitability, and get out of the thing. Success is not doing something you hate, but you have a pile of money that you get to enjoy on the weekend. Right? Not success to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know your husband is a school teacher and loves what he does, and I don't know exactly what he makes, but I know you want to talk about what it is. It's a guy that shows up and loves what he does and makes a pretty good living at it. Like I'd say for Reed, like that's success.
Oh yeah.
It absolutely. And it also works to have a partner that's a kick butt machine that generates, piles of money,
Yeah.
But success is not doing something you hate and being like, I've just got 12 more years and then I get a pension. To me, I'm not in everyone's experience, but that's not me. I was in the corporate restaurant world, did not like the people I worked with, did not like the way they operated on a corporate level and stuff. But hey, I had money, I had everything, but I wasn't happy, So I planned my exit strategy and it kind of fell apart, folks, before I totally made it out. So I'm a hybrid of trying to plan to get out and sort of getting thrown out, But, success is not living in fear of what you have, and it's not doing something that you absolutely hate without seeing an end in sight.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us start out like you did. I did the same thing. I went through the corporate thing, thought that that's what I wanted to do, thought that's who I wanted to be, until I was in a job for 8 years that I couldn't stand to wake up and go to every day.
Right.
And it was not a pretty scene coming out of that. Just admitting that I felt like a total failure, and it really took me 6 to 9 months to really bounce back from that. And looking back on it, it's like, oh wow, I really held on to that so much longer than I needed to, because something so much better came out of it.
Right, and there's the process, right? I tell myself I have to stay at this job because it's safe. I mean, if you want to talk about what success is not, it's the illusion that your company is going to guarantee you a paycheck for 20 years. That was my grandfather's somewhat guaranteed life, but that is not our guaranteed life. Right? And then you got the ouch factor. You got it on the other end, but you're like, man, I was wasting my time there. What a waste. And when you get that sting, right, you say to yourself, I am going to strive to never end up in that situation again. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee. There is for me, but there's nothing wrong for anyone else. My my younger daughter, Ava, she's probably going to be an engineer or something. She's probably going to work for a company. I have a funny feeling she's going to love it. I don't sit around and approach success is not being an entrepreneur. It is for you. It is for me. Your husband's an employee, right? I've got relatives. My partner's an entrepreneur, but I've got relatives and friends that are employees. So success is like, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? If you want to build rockets, you're probably not going to be an entrepreneur unless you're Musk or Bezos. You may have to be an employee or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But, success is like, am I like getting as much love out of this as I can and like making a good living, or a great living, So I think people need to, again, figure out what success is for them and then start moving through some process like the triple P, I played around with that name, PPP, P squared, I could rework it. I could rework this and that, the triple P, the three Ps. But, you really have to figure out what's going to make you happy, what you're passionate about, right? Drill down into that and then make an exit plan, right? Start performing, start getting in the business of doing what you have to do to get out. And that does not mean storming in and quitting your job tomorrow. For some it does, but for some it means starting to plan an exit strategy to get out in a year or two or 6 months or whatever. Yeah, it might suck for a while, but it also sucks to like lose your house, lose your car, lose your, right? So be realistic. People, my belief is that, right, we're in the matrix and the world is an illusion. That's my personal spiritual belief. And people say, well, the world's an illusion, Ike, so we can just do whatever we want. It's like, well, in my experience, the world is an illusion. And if you just do what you want, you might have the illusory experience of not being able to pay your rent.
Yeah.
Right. Spirituality, enlightenment, Jesus is not showing up. Buddha is not showing up and paying your rent for you. For most people I talk to, I have heard a couple stories of Buddha showing up and paying the rent, but I don't see a regular formula of Buddha paying rent. So I say, like, be practical, get honest about your passion, but then be practical about how to get over there and, mad, feverish clawing to live the life of your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So let's give everybody a challenge then to use your ROI process to get clear on their passion. So,
all right. Do you want to steer me in a direction, or you want me to just throw something out and see if it works for everybody?
Well, I was just thinking maybe people could look at something in their life, maybe some area where they're not happy or some aspect of their business that's not working, and then just use that process to steer them towards a solution or some clarity.
Right. And this is really easy because you just say to people, okay, everyone, take a moment and think of an area of your life, business, personal, whatever, where you're not really happy about it. Pick an area of your life where you feel disempowered, right? Where there's a yuck, right? And yuck. You don't feel happy. You don't feel joy about it. And say to yourself, right? Okay, so it's my job, or it's my weight, or it's my diet. And I don't mean like diet losing weight. Maybe it's like I know I should eat more vegetables, right? So that I'm not having a heart attack, 20 years, right? So you say to yourself, right? I tell myself, right? I tell myself what? I tell myself I have to stay at this job. I tell myself it's hard to eat vegetables. I tell myself I have to stay in this relationship. I tell myself I have to leave this relationship, right? Find an area where there's a loss of power or a loss of joy, right? And everybody can find it because we all have it. We have really big ones and we have really little ones. Like I tell myself I can't walk around the block after dinner, right? But the truth is, come on, folks. The truth is, I could walk around the block after dinner. So you don't have to pick the biggest thing in your life. Let's say, folks, if you're listening and you have a flash and you're like, I need to quit my job. Maybe that's not what you want to work on right now because the process, you pick any area, it's not a linear line. It's It's all over. You find all these areas of, let's call it lack of joy or disempowerment, and you say, I'm going to pick something smaller. I tell myself that I can't walk around the block after dinner because I don't have the time. And the truth is, I watch an hour of Netflix every night, right? Come on now, folks, right? So take something where you have a loss of power and say, I tell myself this, and then write it down. But the truth is this, and really sit with it, sort of meditate on. I tell myself, right, I can't walk around the block after dinner. I tell myself I can't get up 10 minutes early and do a stretching routine, right? The truth is, and then be honest, because we all know what the truth is, right? And the next step is then say, so what is the ouch on me? Like, how is this affecting me in my life, right? The ouch factor on me is fill in the blank, right? I'm not happy at my job. I'm not as flexible as I want to be. And the ouch factor on others is, right, like let's go back. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I tell myself I can't get up 10 minutes early and stretch. The truth is I can get up 10 minutes early and stretch, right? The ouch factor for me is I'm sore. Speak about an ouch. I'm ouch. I'm stiff and sore all day long. I go sit in an office or I go sit in my chair like you and I do a lot. I'm sore. And the ouch factor on others is I'm a jerk to my partner, to people, because I'm sore. So the inspired action is get up in the morning and stretch for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole ROI process. I tell myself this. Are you going to put this up somewhere, or are we just giving it to them?
Yeah. We'll put it up in the Facebook group, and we'll challenge everybody to do that.
Perfect. And then so you'll put it up, and folks, go in that Facebook group and pay attention to it, because you can just take this simple little step and do it over and over. You can apply it to everything in your life. There's nothing you can't apply it to in your life. So just go to the Facebook group and take a look at it. I tell myself this, the truth is this, the ouch factor for me or the effect on me is this, the effect on others is this, and the inspired action is bam. And it just comes to you when we're honest about what is for ourselves. Intellectually, you think you need to be able to know all the steps ahead of time. You don't. Just take one step, as Martin Luther King said, right? You don't need to see the whole stairway. You just got to take one step. So go to the Facebook group and lay it out. Get honest about what is, get honest about what it's costing you, and then get honest about getting in the game and taking life on and getting what you really want.
Awesome. So let's, you have a special offer for everybody. I want to talk about that, and then I have one other question for you afterwards that we didn't get to, but I really want to ask it. So let everybody know what you have for them today.
Well, hey, we're talking about profit. We're talking about prosperity. Let's go over to, we have so many products at Avaya. We've been in the business a long time. And so what we're offering up today is this whole e-course called The Truth About Prosperity. It's based on a multi-part film we did, and it is loaded. It's got 33 streaming digital videos. It's got 30 prosperity exercises, and it's loaded with, people that we worked with over the years, like Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, Mary Morrissey, Joe Vitale, Ariel Ford, Marcy Shimoff, Joe Dispenza. A lot of it looks at the psychology of things, how to change the way you're thinking and relate that to getting in the game of kicking butt in whatever success is for you. We have 4 streaming prosperity video classes with us, and then we have bonuses from a whole bunch of people like Don Clark, Dana Wilde, Emmanuel Dager. I mean, it is just loaded, and we're offering it today for $4.95. It's normally $97. Sometimes we offer it for less, but I said to Andy, why don't we just do it for $4.95 and just play the game of getting these ideas out to as many people as possible for this interview. So it's $4.95, The Truth About Prosperity, remove limiting beliefs and manifest true prosperity right now. What prosperity is for you, not what anybody else thinks. Figure out what it is for you from this course, and then get in the game of creating it for yourself.
Awesome. So if you guys definitely go take advantage of that, and it means $4.95, not $495.
$4.95, less than a Starbucks ultra gigantic latte.
So click the button right below the video, and you can take advantage of that. Wow, that is so generous of you guys, and that is so much information for people. You guys are going to love it. So please click the button now, right below the video.
Thanks. It is. It really is a spectacular product, and the people in it. It's great when you can learn through a fun and truly inspiring way. And those people. I mean, Bob Proctor is great in it. I mean, Brian Tracy. I mean, I just love him. He is a laser focused guy in this. He is just amazing. I mean, you just get so many different points of view in there, and they just. I feel like it's a puzzle, and they all come together to sort of show you, a practical formula for success.
All right, awesome. So you guys, again, click the button below to take advantage of that. And then I have one final question. So we went through your whole process of the 3 Ps. What happens after someone has success? Are they done?
I think there's like some dancing and there's a celebration. Like the balloons are coming down. And I think, you're sort of done, and then you just sit around on your butt and wait, I guess that's probably not it, right? Right? That's an interesting one, right? Because we operate as if success is this one thing, right? We're going to achieve success, right? It is like, you're at the end of the line. No, you're not at the end of the line. Just like any game in life, once you win, right? Like having a successful coffee shop, well, now what's the new game you're going to play? Now there's new games to play for success. Now success is 2 coffee shops. Now success is 2 coffee shops and a donut shop. Well, now success is 2 coffee shops, a donut shop, and an auto dealership. Well, now success is 2 coffee shops, a donut shop, an auto dealership, and 20 books. The beautiful thing about success is a concept. So when you win at it, you can just create a new game, a new concept, and keep playing. There's nothing wrong with slowing down and enjoying your successes and celebrating them and, right, settling in and hanging out with that success for a little while. I guess the reality is eventually we get bored, and what's the new game? But, for me at this point in my journey, success for me is not worrying about money, not really worrying about much. And when I win one thing or finish one thing, success for me is starting to brainstorm and dream up other ideas and then play to win them. And yes, it brings more money in, but it's, success is, it's a game. It never ends. Life is a game. Success is a game. And once you win, it's like so many things, right? You win a race and then you want to go, right? You win one marathon and you're like, some people say, well, I won that one marathon and now I'm not going to do a marathon again. But they're going to take on other challenges and create other successes in your life. So success is not an end-all, be-all destination, right? It isn't like I have arrived in every area of my life. There's the next success. And the more you take on winning, the more you love winning, the more new games you play to win. It's never over. And that's the great thing about it. Right? I mean, look at all the different things we do, right? All the things we've created, all the people we play with, right? People say, well, why don't you retire? It's like, well, what would I do? Well, where do you go? Where do you go from like being right like this? So I'm going to retire from saying like, you can have the life of your dreams, or I'm going to retire from coaching people to like, get honest about what is. I'm going to retire from, if I don't want to flip houses anymore, I'll quit flipping houses, obviously, or I'll just still flip houses and I'll point more and say, you do that, you do that, you do that. Success for me is really maybe not having to do anything anymore. There's no need to do a lot of things, and it's all just pure joy. Success is being like, I think I'll do that. It'll probably generate 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Maybe success is also, if it doesn't hit the goal, it's not that big of a deal. Or like success is saying, I'm going to ratchet it up and, do another promotion for it. All right. I'm going to rebrand it in a different way, but when you hit success, settle in and enjoy it for a little bit, but then you're going to want to get back in the game and take on something new. Success never ends. And it's right. It's like the most fabulous piece of chocolate cake. But then you say to yourself, but wait, is this the only most fabulous piece of chocolate? And the new success is finding another perfect piece of chocolate cake and another and another and another, right? So hit your successes, settle and enjoy them for a little bit, let inspiration rise up into you, as I would call it. New passion arises, new game, perform, get the results again. There's the profit. Repeat, 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 like a serial entrepreneur, or even if you have one business, you've got a successful coffee shop, or you're a successful internet marketer. Well, I guess it's time to create a new product, right? If you really love talking about prosperity, well, maybe it's also time to talk about prosperity for kids, or maybe it's also time to talk about for prosperity after retirement, or maybe it's time to talk about prosperity for a village, or right. There's so many new games you can play. When you reach success, enjoy it. But when you start to get bored, recognize you're bored and boot up again, play a new game. Success is you just get to do it over and over again. The more you do it, the more fun it is. And, if you get too much money, hey, donate it to something or start a business with someone that needs a little help. And hey, new success, new game, new success.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I hope everybody got some inspiration from that, and you've got a lot of stuff on your list that you can take action on, get going on that performance side of things. And I just want to remind everyone to go over to the Facebook group. And if you need to watch this video again and go back through Ike's process, we invite you to take that challenge there and post in the group what you discovered, what kind of thoughts and things came up for you, and we'll pop in there and give you a little love and support on whatever you're needing in there. And Ike, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom and your process with everyone. I think it's so simple, and I love that you showed people how they can use that in every day-to-day situation. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you, and I want to acknowledge you for always playing with people, always making it fun, and just staying in the game. Staying in the game, having fun, and helping people. You help a lot of people, and so I just want to acknowledge you for that. You help a lot of people become successful.
Thank you. And we want to say thank you to you guys, your listeners, your audience. We're here for you guys, and we appreciate you showing up and being here and watching and just taking advantage of all this content that we're providing and these amazing teachers. So we appreciate you guys. Oh yeah, don't forget to click the button below for Ike's offer. $4.95, people. It's a no-brainer. Go ahead and do that. And then I invite you to join us for next time. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.